So my topic today is lamellar keratoplasty for general ophthalmologist. What is lamellar keratoplasty? Lamellar keratoplasty, also called as component corneal surgery, wherein we can replace the diseased layer of any cornea with a healthy cornea. So lamellar keratoplasty can be classified depending on the layer of the cornea which is being transplanted. It can be anterior lamellar keratoplasty or posterior lamellar keratoplasty. In anterior, we have anterior lamellar keratoplasty, that is ALK, deep anterior lamellar keratoplasty, that is called DALK, and we have in posterior lamellar keratoplasty, we have DSEK and DSAEK and TMEK, that is descending membrane endokeratoplasty, and pre-descemet endokeratoplasty, that is called a PEDEC. Let's see what is ALK. ALK is an anterior lamellar keratoplasty. If you consider this is the normal cornea, and if you have any pathology in the anterior stroma, this can be replaced by ALK. So the indication should be anterior stromal corneal opacities, anterior stromal scarring following pterygium excision, anterior corneal dystrophies and degeneration, post-corneal haze, or anterior scar formed by any healed keratitis or trauma, all those things. And what is DALK? DALK is a procedure where we replace whole of the stroma up to descending membrane. So if you see, this is a normal cornea. If you do a DALK, so whole of this cornea stroma, when starting from the epithelium up to the descending membrane, you replace with the healthy cornea. So the indications could be common indication nowadays: keratoconus, stromal dystrophies, corneal scars due to chemical injuries, post-trauma, or following corneal ulcer. So if you see at the posterior lamellar keratoplasty, they can be DSEK or DASEK, where the lenticle of the posterior stroma, descending membrane, and endothelium is transplanted. In DMEK, only the descending membrane and endothelium is transplanted. In PDEC, the pre-descending membrane, and also known as Dubois layer, and descending membrane and endothelium is transplanted. So indications would be for posterior lamellar keratoplasty, pubic endothelial corneal dystrophy, posterior polymorphous corneal dystrophy, congenital hereditary endothelial dystrophy, pseudoplex bullous keratopathy, and phakic bullous keratopathy. So these two posterior lamellar keratoplasty, if we compare between DSEK and DMEK, in DSEK, lenticule of the posterior stroma, descending membrane, endothelium is transplanted. In DMEK, descending membrane, endothelium is transplanted. The only difference is major difference is learning curve is less in DSEK and learning curve is more in DMEK. But however, the visual outcome is better in DMEK than DSEK. Some of the indications and for anterior lamellar keratoplasty. So any pathologies in the anterior stroma up to 200 to 300 microns, that can be referred for ALK, and any pathology up to the descending membrane with good endothelium, that can be referred for DALK. And in posterior lamellar keratoplasty, the stroma will be normal, or it may be edematous because of a poor endothelium. Such case scenarios or such conditions can be referred for posterior lamellar keratoplasty. One example is advanced keratoconus for DALK, post-PRK haze, macular dystrophies, anterior stromal scars. They all will get benefited by anterior lamellar keratoplasty. And for posterior lamellar keratoplasty, fused endothelial dystrophy and pseudophakic bullous keratopathy and CHAD, all these will get benefited by posterior lamellar keratoplasty. And let's see what is a DALK procedure. I have run a small video. See, as you see, as I explained earlier, we remove the stroma up to endothelium. First, I made a partial thickness definition, and slowly I am extending the groove. And this technique is called as big bubble technique, because wherein, with the help of 26 gauge needle, I am injecting air in the stroma, whereby creating a big bubble. So that big bubble would separate the Descemet membrane from anterior stroma. And I release the air from the anterior stroma. And now I have stroma, there is an interface and Descemet membrane. So slowly, what I'm doing, I am separating the anterior stroma from the Descemet membrane or pre-Descemet membrane. And with the help of cornel scissor, I'm taking out the anterior stroma. Sometimes there might be small adhesions which can be released with blunt spatula. Now I have a cut ends of anterior stroma and bare Descemet membrane. The air you see is in the antechamber. Now the stroma has been removed, and this is the donor graft. So where we have to remove the Descemet membrane and endothelium. This can be removed with just putting a Trifon glue on it and slowly scraping with the Merosol sponge. And that is placed over the cornea and sutured. This is the procedure of TALC. In DSEC, we have to make the posterior lamellar graft, wherein we have some amount of stroma and endothelium and Descemet membrane. This can be done by manual dissection, wherein you manually take out the anterior stroma up to the deep level, and also it can be done with the automated keratometry with the help of electrically charged microkeratome. And a small video to show how it is done. The size is marked with the Trifine, and the Descemet membrane is scrolled and removed from the recipient cornea. Here I have scrolled it, and the loose Descemet membrane, I am taking it out. This is the Descemet membrane, and I confirm that whole Descemet membrane has come. And with the help of a needle, I replace the DSEC graft into the antechamber and center it. And with the help of air bubble, I secure the graft to the stroma. So it should be little bit tight antechamber so that it will attach to the stroma. So if you leave behind the air bubble for 20 minutes and take out, that is enough. It will attach by itself because of the endothelial pump mechanism. So where in DMEC, we take out only the Descemet membrane. There are two parts in the DMEC surgery, where first you prepare the DMEC graft by just peeling. It is something called as a scuba technique and double trepanation technique, where you scroll the 360-degree Descemet membrane and slowly you peel it off and prepare the lenticule, the Descemet membrane scroll, and you store it in the BSS. Later, it is taken into the injector and injected into the antechamber. This scroll is unscrolled with the endothelium down, and again with the help of air bubble, it is secured to the stroma. So with the advent of this new technology and new techniques, we can get good results in DALC as well as DSEC and DMEC. And definitely lamellar keratoplasty has a better outcome compared to the traditional penetrating keratoplasty. And as a general ophthalmologist, what to look for the posterior lamellar keratoplasty patients and when to refer to the corneas patient. So usually these patients come to your clinic with complaints of decreased vision, pain, redness, photophobia, and watering. So what you have to look is, first you have to look at the central graft area, whether graft is attached or is in place or not, and again, and is there any edema, and look for the graft host junction. Is there any dehiscence there and any loose sutures, presence of vascularization, infiltrates, epithelial defect, or any dendritic lesion which may indicate the recurrent viral keratitis, and look in the interface. Interface is the place between the donor cornea and recipient cornea. So there can be interface haze, or there can be infiltrate there, and sometimes what happens, the descent membrane would have detached, and that may cause pseudo interchamber. And most important thing is we have to check the intraocular pressure in these patients every visit. And what are the red flags and when to refer to the specialist? So when you have a graft infiltrate like this, and suture infiltrates with vascularization, and there are signs of stromal rejection, because rejection is very unlikely in dark, but still some very few patients can develop rejection. This should be referred immediately. And if you see a recurrent viral keratitis, this should be referred immediately. And also in like conditions like persistent epithelial defect and following trauma, if there is a dehiscence of the graft host junction, and if there is a small detachment or a complete detachment of the displacement membrane, which has caused the pseudo interchamber, these patients should be referred immediately for the management. And if you what you should look in the DSEC or DMEC, you have to look at the graft area, whether it is in the center or not, and whether there are any infiltrates, keratic participates, graft edema, bulle over the graft, whether it is a microbulle or macrobulle, and also look in the interface of the graft, whether it is attached fully, or is there any detachment in the some area, or there is a full detachment, or is there any presence of debris infiltrates in between. When to refer these patients? So if you are in a DSEC, if the graft is dislocated in the sense it has displaced from its central place. If you see here, it is sinking down. It is not in the central area, it is sinking down. And also in slit image, you can see the gap between the cornea and the DSEC lenticule. And if there is a persistent corneal edema and small detachment in the graft, such cases you should refer immediately. And what you look for DMEC, mainly if there is a graft dislocation. If you can see the scroll here, it is dislocated again. It has scrolled inside, and if there is any graft detachment. Since we are in a posterior lamellar keratoplasty, since we are transplanting the endothelium, there are chances of graft rejection. So if there are any signs of graft rejection, like graft edema, antechamber reaction, or keratic specific, those patients should be referred immediately. Thank you for your patience hearing. Thank you.